Hello everyone who is following up on the tube of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for, I imagine you're subscribing, which is pretty cool. Thank you very much for that. And this might be a hello to the podcast. I've been asked to do a podcast a number of times, and I thought, why not just put my lives on a podcast so that way, if you don't want to watch, because typically it's just me talking, I can just post that there and you can listen. So I'm going to be looking into Spotify podcasts this week so that this will be going up on the tube of you as well as Spotify. So you get to decide what way you want to listen to me. And I'm going to look into further editing just as a matter of time. So that way it can be less of the fluff, though I love the fluff for the live stream, though more of like the material for when we actually do the podcast when it's coming. So wish me well. I'm going into that pursuit. So hello everyone. Hi Angela. I saw Angela in virtual person at the Intuitive Entrepreneurship Club call this past week. That's a part of my Patreon community tier. And I love it so much. And Angela is so talented. We are a group of people who want to lift each other up, who are engaged in what each other is doing and want to encourage to trust intuition while also having business savvy and know-how. And Angela is just such a wonderful asset. So thank you for your gifts. I appreciate those. Hello, everybody who is joining. Thank you. It is good to see you. I'm seeing some of my mods. Hello, mods. Very cool. I think I may have gotten a message from some of my mods. Yeah, y'all are on here. So we have our chat. Hello, Caitlin. Yeah, Caitlin was at the entrepreneurship call as well. Intuitive entrepreneurship. Cool. Thank you. I got this from Cider a few years ago. So thank you. Yeah. How's everybody faring right now? It's been a week, y'all. And last week I was also like, it's been a week. Like, things just keep happening in this country. It's like, oh, what's happening today? I want to give a huge thank you to Under the Desk News. We are mutual followers, which like warms my heart so much. I appreciate their way of bringing the news to our attention in a non-sensational way and citing their sources so that we also can follow up as well. So that is how I've been handling a lot of the news as of late, because sensational news is like really stressful. It's really stressful. So I like Under the Desk News. I also like some Instagram places like so.informed. I follow some environmentalist pages as well. So yeah, it's been a time. I hope all of you are taking the necessary time that you need in order to do what it is that you need to do in order to stay grounded, feel your feelings, and take action if you need to. But some of you, it might not be a time to take action. It's a time to think and reflect. So I like the idea of, for the full moon this Sunday, screaming into the void. So if you can scream into the void, definitely do that. Just scream the things you're looking to release into the void. I heard that this is a time where we're releasing a lot of things that we've already learned the lessons of from the last 16 years, which, wow, I was a whole other person. Like, also bodily, if you're familiar that, like, every 7 years your skin replaces itself. So, like, we were all two different people like that long ago. So if you have anything that comes up that you need to release, now is the time to do it. And if you can scream it into the void, great. Maybe I'll scream it into a cup, like take it in a cup and just be, and like release the cup under the full moon or something like that. I mean, I joked to the mods. I was like, I wonder who's going to call the cops when I start screaming on Sunday. Yep, I understand that. Oh my goodness. Goodness, journaling is good. Yeah, for sure. About the Wright Memorial. Oh yeah. Goodness, wow, I did that a while ago. It's cool that you saw it recently. I did a TikTok about that. So cool. Ooh, glad you're getting an escape this weekend for sure. Ooh, at Ocracoke. yeah, I have not been out to Ocracoke in a while, so I hope you have a good time. Yeah, for all of you taking time for yourself this weekend, good for you. Good for you. I'm going to be spending time with family this weekend. Yeah, for sure. Oh, goodness. A question from Katie, who's one of my patrons, and I also saw you this past week. Can you tell a story, an astral projection story of yours? Ooh. Okay, I'll tell you a story of when I intentionally astral projected and then broke some rules. So, let's see, this was in 2021, late 2021. And if you're familiar with my video of a guy going down to the river to throw out his trash, this was the same time. I was living in a bus, and it was actually at the Roanoke River, and I was parked out there, and I started to do what I do now, which is kind of like doing a sonar in clairsentience, where like I send a cloud out of energy and see what it goes around, and it happened to go around this guy who was headed to the river. It was like perfect timing, this. So I was taking this psychic course at the time, and P.S. thank you to Erica Russo, I believe, Erica Russo. She was the one, she gifted me this course. So she was, I interviewed for her podcast, and she was like, why don't you call yourself a medium? And I was like, why would I do that? And she's like, because you know stuff about ghosts that typically people don't know. And I was just like, lol, what? So yeah, she gifted me a course with her, and it was like a pre-recorded course, and so I'm taking it, and there was this astral projection thing, and we had to listen to this meditation. So I was like, okay, cool. Listening to this meditation, and then it starts out with figure out like a soul symbol with your guides so that you have like a safety net of things. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I saw like a sigil in the sky, and I was like, great. And then he comes in with the meditation track, and he's like, some of you might see a bird. Some of you might see a specific bird, like a crow. Some of you might see a tree or something like that. And I was like, whoops, I did that wrong already. Like, there were no instructions, so my brain just went, sigil. So, anywho, so I was like, okay, cool. Well, that's my sigil in the sky. Got it. It's my beacon of light. Should I need to get back to my body? Got it. And then he starts talking about like, you know, moving a part of your spirit out of your body, and he's like talking through it and all of this stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And the next thing I knew, I was looking down at the bus. Like, all this was mind's eye sort of thing. So if you've done meditation and you see it with your mind's eye, it's the same concept. That is inner eye clairvoyance. Most people have it, they just don't realize it, just saying. Anywho, so I'm looking down at the bus, I'm looking down at the house that we're parked at, and I was just like, woo! Cool, great. And then I'm listening to the meditation, but I'm also like, oh, the river's over there. I'm gonna go fly over the river. So like, I was like flying over the river. Like, this is so great. I'm looking at the trees, I'm flying past the trees, and I'm seeing like the energy of the river, like the energy of the spirit of the river kind of like coming off, and like all this stuff. And I was just like, woo, this is so cool. And then like I hear in the meditation track, it's like, you should be right in front of your body. What does your body look like? And then I was like, oh, ooh, I think I did this wrong. Was there a wrong way to do this? And I'm just like, oh, I just like flat out left my body. So thank you for the gifts. Yeah. So I eventually went back to my body, and then I was just like flying over the bus again. And I was like, okay, well now what? Like I'm near my body, but like this is boring. So I was just like, I'm gonna go back to the river, and like, went up the river. The cool thing though was I didn't take myself too seriously. And I eventually looked at Google Maps to look at the river, and that was really cool because I got to be like, oh, okay, there is a bend there, you know. It wasn't all like, yes, the two guys fishing at the so-and-so spot and that kind of thing. I was really just treating it as fun, and yeah, that's what I did. So that was my astral projection. The first time I cognizantly astral projected. So since we're on the subject, one, this has been requested from my patrons. Thank you for the gifts. I'm seeing them. This has been requested from my patrons. It is going to be a full course coming up in the next few months. P.S. for anybody who doesn't know about my Patreon, you can now get 24 courses, roughly an hour each, for $10. You can access all of that for $10 upfront. So if you have not seen my videos on that, please check them out. So often people are like, I can't afford this. I believe in crowdfunding, at having lower rates so that more people can access things, so long as more people, you know, come in. So that way I can get what I need covered and that sort of thing. So anywho, yeah, one thing with astral projection, there are a lot of meditative tracks out there, a lot of really good safety measures that are being in place. I think the biggest safety measure is always going to come back to your willpower. It's going to come back to your personal shielding. It's going to come to your own belief on what you can and cannot do. So if you believe that you can go see other things, if you can like pop through time, the cool thing about spirit is it's not bound by space and time. So my astral work, it's not like I'm actively traveling like across the world to go look at something. No, I connect with a point, sort of like an anchor point. Oftentimes if I'm working with clients, the client is the anchor point. I ask their permission, then I'm like, cool, I'm gonna pop over to your anchor point, and then I just go. So that being said, though, I have my protective measures in place. I make sure my guides know. I make sure that I'm shielded. I make sure that I'm not leading other energy over. Like, I've learned so much about travel, so much so that now I can assist spirits in traveling. But I skipped ahead. Okay. A very simple thing to do, if you're looking to do astral stuff, is to describe the back of your head. It may help you to either close your eyes or relax your vision. You can stare at a wall, whatever, stare at a plant, okay? And just say, okay, what does the back of my head look like? And if you're thinking, that sounds so easy, yeah, because it doesn't have to be hard. If you need the long meditations, there's no problem in that. Though I'm the kind of worker where I'm just like, can I go? Bop, bop. So yeah, work on that. That's the easiest way to do it. Start with the back of your head. Maybe jot down some notes for yourself, and then get a mirror and look at the back of your head. Let's see, right now I am pretty confident that the bobby pins that are holding up my hair on this side are a little bit farther, maybe even like at the center of my head, than this one is. So let me check that. Okay, so the bobby pin here, there, bobby pin there, okay. What else can I know about the back of my head? That was weird. Like, there's a wave at the crown of my head. Where? Oh my God. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but like that little wave right there. I did not look at a mirror to check this before the live because I didn't know what y'all want to talk about. So yeah, it can be like that. Sometimes your psychic information is going to come through different things. So if it's not like, oh, I can see the back of my head, maybe it's a clear cognizant thing. Maybe it's a sort of like, there's a bump on this location at this spot sort of thing. Maybe it's a clear sentient thing where it's like you feel like, you know, there's a hair coming out of your ponytail or something like that. Treat it like fun. From there, that's when you can be like, cool, I want to walk out into the hallway and see what's going on. And this is more of a claircognizant thing. I didn't fully go astral just now, but I'm pretty sure there's a fly. I saw it fly in to the door 2 days ago. It was a moment. I was pulling open the door and that fly ran in. We live near a creek, so nature. But anyway, it was a claircognizant that flies in the kitchen right now. Anyway, if the one who lives with me happens to be able to validate that, that would be really cool. But also I feel like it's near, not the window close to the stove in the kitchen. Now that was claircognizance. Your astral can work in claircognizance as well. Claircognizance is clear knowing. So cool. Yeah, okay. What is your favorite way to connect with spirits? Ooh, that's an interesting question. I'll tell you my easiest, which is kind of a tie between clairsentience and claircognizance, if that's what you meant by that question. Claircognizance, the clear knowing. Clairsentience is psychic feeling, like specifically psychic touch. Clairtangency can also be specific psychic touch. I am that person. I've had to ask spirits if I can touch them. Now, before we go too far, one, it's not like, yes, it feels like my skin. No, it's like I have to feel the energetic shift in, what am I thinking of? It's an energetic shift. It's a electromagnetic shift. That's what it is. So it's light. You have to, tune into it, though you tune into it by simply practicing and acknowledging that you can do that. Hello, people who are just joining. So yeah, clairsentience was the one that when I couldn't trust my claircognizance, I kept going back to that. So I actually made a skit about this where I was like trying to see Rupert better. So like he was like sitting in front of me and I was sitting in front of him. I was like, okay, cool. I really like to see you better, but I see best with my hands, So he was like, okay, sure. And I was like, I had to like feel out his face. I've done that with a few others before. It's not something I do in consultations or anything like that because it just gets weird. Most of my consultation work is now in Astral. But yeah, at the time it was a way because I could feel the shift to be like, oh, okay, like there's the nose and like that's how the eyes go in. All right, like, that kind of thing. I made a skit about it. So if you want to do that deep dive, you can do that. Yay, Katie, you remember that video. I love that. So yeah, I would say when you're growing your skill sets, start with the ones that you feel you have. I'll go ahead and say, I believe everybody has clear cognizance. It's the clear intuition of like, I know this popped into my head, that sort of thing. I believe that clear cognizance actually fuels part of the rest of our clear skills. And remember, these are skill sets, and that's why I'm very passionate about teaching, because I want people to understand you can utilize these skill sets, you can grow them. If you have never been psychic in your life, but you have an interest in it, you can do it. I offer a variety of services, as well as my Patreon is like the biggest thing that I offer, which is the most affordable for most people. And that is the point of it. As I mentioned, $10 a month gets you access to 24-25 as of next month courses, all of which being about an hour each. So I really pour a lot into that. And I just give so much to my patrons because I really, really just want to get information out there. The more of us who can trust our intuition, the better our society will be, because we won't be living in so much fear. You see what living in fear has given us as of late? Anyway, cool. I'm going back through some questions. One thing I will let y'all know, I am trying to give more attention to questions that I haven't answered before. So if I'm not answering your question, please know it's not that I'm wanting to ignore you or anything like that. I repost all of my lives so long as there's not like a technical issue or something like that. So if I don't get to your question, please check out my YouTube, because there's so much there. There's so many questions answered there, especially the general sorts of things. I'm growing into my abilities, or I'm having my awakening now, that kind of thing. Between that and also I have a Q&A playlist here on TikTok. I've got a lot of things for y'all. So yeah, let's see. Let's go into some of these. Oh, thank you, Caitlin, for answering that question. I love it when y'all help each other out in the comments. That makes me so, so happy. Thank you. Okay, that's an interesting question. Rebecca asks, also, hello, fellow Rebecca. How do you deal with the stigma? It messes with my faith and therefore connection and concentration. When you say stigma, do you mean like the being right, or if like somebody's challenging you? I'll wait for that. I think that's what you mean, but I want to be sure. Wendy, if you have a longer question, if it's too long for TikTok, I understand. If it's just a question, consider booking a quick chat with me. They go from 15 to 30 minutes, and they're the cheapest option to meet with me one-on-one. So if you want to do that, the information's on my website, which, by the way, reminder, I am never in DMs. If anybody DMs you saying that it is me, it is not me. Ever. Ever. Like, I rarely DM other people, and if I do, I will be very specific about it, but oftentimes if I'm following somebody, I don't DM them. So, or if for the rare times that I have DM'd somebody on here, it's usually with information for collaborative opportunities. So if anybody DMs you saying that it's me, please block and report them immediately. It's not me. If you go to this page, the only one that I have, you will see who I'm actually following, my actual follower account, etc., etc. I don't have a backup account here on TikTok. I've never felt a need to get one. So if you're ever concerned about something, as far as other accounts, I'm on here one time, I'm on here Instagram one time, I'm on here YouTube one time. Those are my primary social media outlets. If you're ever concerned about something and you want to reach out to me, reach out to my assistant. That's going to be through my website. So now that I got that disclaimer out of the way, back to Rebekah. So the other people who think we are crazy and always have. Yeah, so back to the question of how do you deal with stigma? Really what this means is how do I deal with non-believers? I don't. I'm not here to prove them anything. I'm not here to prove my worth. Like, I understand where you're coming from. It actually used to give me a lot of anxiety before consultations, because before a consultation, I would be like, oh, what if I'm wrong? What if I get something wrong? Like, what if I can't do it? What if I can't connect with them? And I would have so much anxiety about it that I wouldn't be able to do the consult. It was very halfway. It wasn't connected. I couldn't connect with the person. Like, it wasn't working. So I did a few things. One of which was I started to give myself different mantras. One of my favorite mantras, I'll give it to all of you, is the best people find me. It's not I find the best people. No. The best people for me find me. And that might be another thing to kind of add in that. The best people for me find me. Shoot that out there. Now, whenever I'm having uncertainties before a consultation, I will say that to myself. If I'm having further concerns or whatever, I'll hold a grounding tool and I'll connect with my folks. And I'll be like, is this something I need to be aware of? Do I need to do my own psychic pull for myself to be aware of something for this consultation? I'll tell you some stories about times where I had doubts. So one of which I remember, it was a guy, and he had one of the heaviest shields around him that I have ever seen. And it's truly because he didn't want to be read. It's one of those things, the cognitive, like, oh, I want you to prove to me that I'm wrong. But that's not a way to enter a reading. Like, for example, if you're going to therapy and you're not going to like work with your therapist and be open-minded to what they tell you, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. So if somebody comes to you and is already like, oh, I don't believe in what you do, I'll be like, cool, great. Why did you spend money on this? Like, I will ask them that. I'll be like, why? I'm not going to prove anything to you. This is spiritual stuff. I can come up with thing after thing after thing. And if somebody doesn't want to believe it, they won't. This is any kind of religion. Right? You can't force a belief on somebody. It's not going to work. So I stopped trying. There was another experience. Let's see. It just popped in my mind. And I think it had to do, hold on. I wonder if maybe it left me because it wasn't supposed to be shared. Yes, another one. Some people want answers immediately and they can't get them because that's a block in itself. Like, as far as past loved ones, okay? Sometimes it's they haven't dealt with their grief, so they're not open to letting you read their energy. Grief is a shield unto itself until you work with it. So I've had to have the very uncomfortable conversation with people before of like, hey, I'm not a mental health professional. I am not. That is not the degree that I have. So if you want to work through this grief, if you actually want to get somewhere, you're gonna have to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. I can channel information, though working through grief starts here in your heart. It starts here in your head. It is a cognitive thing that you have to do. It is your path to go through. Thank you for the gifts. I'm seeing them. Yeah, there was one other thing that popped up in my mind. Bummer. That was a really good thing. I've dealt with people who don't believe in me before, which is okay. I don't understand why somebody would waste their time and their money to go sit down with somebody and then just not take it. I mean, I'm just like, why would you do that? Yes. Here's a good example. It came back to me. So this is also when I was starting out early. This person had not dealt with their grief, and it had been well over 10 years from their loved one. And I don't think this person really believed in what I did. I was offering readings like for friends and family because I was like, okay, well, that's practice, you know? Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I still do that for fun. But I connected with this person's mother, and I was telling her things that only she and her mom knew, etc. And then this person was like, oh, well, tell me our favorite memory. And so I asked the loved one, I was like, okay, what's your favorite memory? And she started showing me pictures of them at a beach. And the thing is, though, I could see that the person who I was working with was significantly younger than when she would have been when talking with the mom, right? So I explained that, and I was just like, hey, I'm seeing you as younger. Like, I'm even seeing your swimsuit, and I see this beach, and I see this whole scene and all of that thing. And I was like, there you go. And the person said, no, that's not our favorite memory. And I was like, oh, okay. And I look at the mom, and the mom's just like, oh, well, that was one of my favorite memories. And I was like, do you know what her favorite memory would be? Basically, we went through a variety of different memories. And the person started getting upset. She starts crying. I feel absolutely terrible. Because I keep being like, but I'm saying the memories, but none of it matters. Because this person had not dealt with their grief. And so every memory that I brought up wasn't good enough. And what I realized after talking a little bit, and this is how just sad all of this was, and it totally shot my confidence really badly. This person who had passed had serious issues with depression and alcoholism, which affected her memory. She had not merged with her higher self or anything like that. So it's not like you just get onto the other side and you suddenly remember everything. She was still working through her grief and the decisions that she made while she was still alive. So she couldn't remember the best memory for the person I was talking to. She couldn't remember it because of the way that the depression works. She couldn't remember it. And so the person's crying, I'm crying, the mom's crying, like everybody's crying. And really, all of that could have been avoided if the person still with us had actively dealt with their grief, and instead of testing me, test after test after test, which I kept passing, but because it wasn't something inside of her head, somehow I was the hack. Like, I'm fine doing like psychic games for fun. I'm fine working with scientists, and I try to do that when I have the time to do so. Though, if somebody's gonna come in and test you and test you and test you and test you, and even though you're getting things right, if they don't believe in you, nothing is going to be good enough. And that's not fair to you. People I know who get into readings, they want to help people. They're healers. They want to connect with people. So if you're working with somebody who just keeps crapping on what you're giving them when you're trying to give them a piece of your heart and understanding, it's not a, will you ever be good enough? No. It's a, they need to deal with their stuff. They need to understand why they put money down on this in the first place. And they should probably go to therapy too. Just saying. That went on a whole tangent. But like, I could tell you stories about this. I could tell you stories about, other people who were just jerks about it. But what I will say here, I've had far more wonderful people. I've had far more incredible, wonderful, open-minded people. I work with people at the level that they are at. Some people want to go into like big universal concepts. I'm like, let's go. Some people are like, ooh, I want to understand my past lives as a human incarnation. And I'm like, let's go. I meet so many more beautiful, amazing people than I do bad people. That is also in part to what I put out, to what I am open to receiving. So if you're one of those people, thank you. Thank you for making my experience worth it. I also have healthy boundaries with my guides. It is rare, very rare, that I ever have a consultation with somebody and I leave it very upset. It's very rare. My guides know. My guides know. My patron deities know that if I don't have a consultation after that, or an experience after that, that restores my faith in what I'm doing, that I walk. That's a hard boundary. Like, I'm not signing up to be abused. I'm not signing up for my brain to be scrambled. I've come too far. So, yeah, and that's the understanding. I straight up tell them, I'm like, that was really rough. The next one better be amazing. And I'll tell you, because they know I'm serious. It's worked. So yeah, that being said, I've learned a lot about what I offer people. I've learned a lot about what I'm good at offering. I used to think when I first started out that I had to be good at everything. Who's good at everything? I can't think of anybody. So it's okay to specialize in stuff. Like, as a reader, it's okay to specialize in stuff. Absolutely. If you mainly want to do psychic reads for people, past, present, future stuff, present perspective, whatever that looks like for you, that's fine. If you only want to talk to past loved ones, that's fine. If you only want to talk to ghosts, that's fine. If you only want to talk to deities, also fine. If you only want to talk to spirit guides, fine. If you want to be an animal communicator, fine. You may, get into that like other areas for yourself, or like with your friends or people who are going to like build you up. Sure. I found in my experience that I feel very good at some things and I'm not good at everything. And that's why I've been putting it out there. I've been manifesting to meet more and more people who are better at other things. So I'll throw a few names out there. Theron Beyond the Veil. Whenever somebody comes to me and they're like, ooh, I want to have a chat with my past loved one, I'm like, ooh, I can do a report card, but if you want like a one-on-one conversation and with like mannerisms and words and like that kind of thing, so long as they're able to communicate in that way, I'm like, go see Theron. Or it's like, ooh, you have a big bad malicious entity, go see Theron. Does Theron do similar things to what I can do in other readings? Yes. Though I'll call out myself. I'll be like, ooh, I would love to do that for you. However, somebody can do that better. I'll talk to Krista Capers. Krista Capers, an emotion coder, a body coder, a belief coder. And if you don't know what any of that is, please check out Krista. That helps with blocks. That helps with bodily blocks. That helps with your belief in yourself, your belief in the world around you. What she does is incredible. So, yeah, Krista the emotion and body coder. Yeah, calling you out in the most wonderful way. Can I remove blocks from people? Yeah. However, I think Krista does it even better. because the process is something that you also do. It's something that you understand even more. And the process is just beautiful, and it feels just very relaxed, and it's also reflective. And that's something I don't give enough time to in my consultations, just because oftentimes people want to talk about other things. So why not go to people who are the best at what they do? Truly. And I could go on and on about different practitioners here. So really, like, the thing that I'm passionate about the most, and then I'm going to get to the questions because I see the comments. Thank you. Good morning, good evening. Yes. The thing that I am most passionate about is helping people understand their psychic skill sets so that they don't feel like they're just wading in the water. I am passionate about talking to ghosts, and I am passionate about connecting people with their spirit guides. I can do other things. Those are all on my website. I don't do readings and DMs. But those are the things that I am most passionate about. I want to work with people on the things I'm most passionate about. I want people to believe in themselves. Because if you believe in yourself, then sure, believe in me as you like. But like, I much prefer people believe in themselves. Because we all have this really cool perspective that we can offer each other. I love talking to other psychics when they mean me well, you know? I'll be like, hey, how do you see this week? I see it this way. Emily Dexter, we compare notes. It's awesome. Like, I spent a week out in California with her. Before that, I was at Sacred Spaces in Richmond. And we just went back and forth. Hey, I've looked into this. Have you looked into this? Hey, I've looked into this. Have you looked into this? And it was just like this really cool back and forth sort of thing. That kind of community element, thank you for the gift, I'm seeing that. That kind of community element, I also want people to have with each other, which is why I am also so passionate about building community within my Patreon. I know y'all hear me talk about it a lot, but it's because I want people to feel less alone. I literally had a consultation with somebody earlier today. Thank you for the gift. I had a consultation with somebody earlier today where she kept saying she felt so alone. She kept saying that she felt like she couldn't talk to anybody because of where she lived, her living situation, etc. And I was like, I've got this community. I've got this community. You can talk in a grounded and safe place. We hold each other accountable appropriately, but we're also curious and we're kind. And my moderator, shout out to you. All of us are watching that stuff so that we can be respectful of one another. There's so many people with different beliefs in there, and I love that. What ties us all together? We all believe that we have intuition. We all believe that our intuition can help us and help each other. And that's beautiful. We all want to learn from one another. And I love being in that group. I recently asked a question in that group. It was like a bunch of different questions of like, why are you here? Do you have pets? Like, it was like a bunch of things. Do you have reading material, etc.? And I loved reading everybody's responses. Because, goodness, in a world where it feels like so much of us are being driven apart, to see similar things and things that maybe I don't do, but I enjoy for other people, honestly, priceless. So, thank you. Yeah. For the gifts. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Krista says, if you feel judged for being you and seeing your abilities, you need to find your people. Absolutely. And I'll be real. For some people, maybe my Patreon isn't it. I get it. Go find your people. Wherever they may be. All these gifts. I appreciate y'all so much. I just went on a tangent of like, woo! I will give a shout out to Sacred Spaces. I am wearing the Sacred Spaces charm that I got from Memento Mori. I think I also got this from Memento Mori. Yeah, Sacred Spaces, we're doing it again. And I was talking to a class last night. It wasn't my class, it was actually one of Theron's class. I popped in there. But anyway, Theron has a paranormal investigation class that I just kind of walked in on after class last night. And I was like, hey, everybody. I told them, just in a casual chat setting, I said I was excited about Sacred Spaces when I was a little trepidatious, just a little bit, because I've had meetup experiences in the past that did not feel safe for me. Won't go into all that. But I was a little trepidatious, but I was like, no, this feels entirely different from anything that I've experienced so far. I'm gonna go. And I remember we had like this sort of meet and greet photo opportunity the last day, and it was so hard for me to just not cry. Like, if you got photos of me just looking like I was trying so hard because I was just like, I really, really want to cry because everybody's being so nice. And like, I feel so seen and I feel so comfortable. And like, I just feel like all of us had this beautiful experience together. And it's made me so much more excited for the second one. We still have some general admission tickets left, and it's going to be in September in Richmond, Virginia. And I'm so excited. Like, I get to see y'all again. We're going to be in the same place at the same time. So many people from not just this country, but other countries. We're all going to be there, and we're going to be sharing space. And I'm so excited, truly. So, yeah. Woo, I'm just going on a rampage. If you want more information on that, it's going to be sacredspacesgathering.com. And goodness, we have... I'm trying to do quick math. We've already sold over half of the tickets. Oh, thank you for the presents, the gifts, and all that good stuff. Yeah, the magical add-ons are mostly sold out, except for Mystery Spirit Theater 3000, which we're going to be ripping apart some of Ghost Adventure's best scenes, or most watched things, or whatever. We as psychic mediums are going to weigh in on that show. It's gonna be brutal. Y'all are gonna get to see me be emotional. Not in the crying way, maybe in the crying way, but primarily in the, I'm so angry that this is the state of what's appropriate. So be ready for that. You're gonna see a rare form of me in that room, and I'm very excited. So yeah, I think that's one of the ones that's open. Also, if you want to go to Williamsburg, which is about an hour away from Richmond, I will be there with Emily Dexter that following, or the Monday after the conference, and we're going to be doing some channeled history reads as well as talking to ghosts. I'm very excited for that. So yeah, goodness. Even if you already have your tickets and you want to join in on Mystery Spirit Theater, yeah, I think those are the two experiences that are left that have openings still. So, yeah, okay. Goodness, I went through a lot of things. I'm going to go back into the comments. So there are online tickets. Thank you for asking, though it won't be a live stream. We're doing that specifically because we were not pleased with our live stream quality for the first con. So it's going to be recorded, and it's going to be sent out not only for those watching online, it's also going to be sent out to all of our attendees as a part of the conference package. So looking forward to that. And if you want to check out, you know, what everybody's talking about, we have so many people. I'm so excited. Just so many people talking about so many incredible things. All that's on the website as well. So cool. Going through the comments. Hello. Yes. Thank you for hyping up my Patreon. Super appreciate that, and answering each other's questions. I really, really appreciate you doing that. Oh, where did I get these earrings? These are from a local artisan called Kitten Colt. Colt spelled with a K. And she was so sweet. I wanted to buy everything from her. She was so great. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Excellent. I'm seeing more comments. Cool. Are there any body movement things planned? We're still trying to find somebody to do chair yoga. And I think they'll be on Sunday morning. So if you know anybody in the RVA area who can do chair yoga, because we want to honor that maybe not everybody's ready to like stand on one leg and like do movements. But there's that. There's also goddess portal coaching, and that's movement, but it's not like choreographed. So if you're more comfortable sitting down and like moving, it's totally fine. It's really at your pace. Hey, if you know yoga folks in RVA, please send us a, I think we have a contact form on the website, but we're also info@sacredspacesgathering.com, because we're looking and we found some folks, but like we keep missing. So if you have references, totally open to that. Would totally appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah. Oh goodness. I feel you. Yeah. Being on the West Coast for sure. And that's part of the reason why I know not everybody's up for traveling right now for a variety of reasons. So we still wanted to do virtual options regardless. It just won't be live, but I'm telling you, the quality is going to be so much better because it won't be live. So yes. Thanks for all the hype on sacred spaces. Oh, cool. You'll be booking your reading with me. Awesome. I look forward to meeting you. I do recommend, if you're looking to book a reading, for the solstice, I sent out a 24% off code for my Patreons. So if that's of interest to you, join my Patreon. Save money. Really though, I only offered 24 of those. So I think there's maybe like 4 or 5 left. So I wouldn't sleep on that because that deal is pretty great. I do recommend checking out my Patreon though, because like I know I keep talking about it, but if you're looking for the most immediately affordable thing to do, it would be that. Also, on my Patreon, you can get payment plans. So if you want the larger consultations rather than paying for it all up front, if you stay a member of my Patreon for 3 to 4 months, that'll pay it off and you'll get a code. So, but you do have to stay a member for, depending on the tier, 3 to 4 months in order to keep your booking. Just because you'll get a bunch of other benefits immediately. So, yes, thank you for answering each other's questions. Cool. Yeah. Wow, and it's 7:50. My goodness, we just ran through the time. I will answer one more question. It's funny, at Sacred Spaces, people could tell when I was channeling information because it was very much just like, it would just come and then I would talk and then I would be like, great. How would you handle a ghost that keeps freaking you out at work? Tell them to stop. Say it and mean it. Spirits speak in willpower. So if you have to say it out loud, say it out loud. If you have to say, like, put up a shield, put up a shield. I mean, I'm shielded pretty much all the time. So, yeah. If you can do it with a physical person, you can do it with a ghost. Apply the lessons you have learned with the physical and to a ghost. If you get into the whole like, but what, it's a spirit, like what can I do about it? And treat them like a person and just be like, ooh, what would I do with a person if they kept messing with me? I'd bark at them. So, yeah. Bring them into your own understanding, whatever that may look like for you, and just be like, no, stop. So I wish you well on that. I love the bark at them. Yeah. I mean, if you literally want to bark at them, they might be like, ooh, they're kind of crazy. I'm not going to mess with that. But, you know, to just be like, stop, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know a lot of people who are having paranormal experiences really pop off, especially from this year and moving forward. That is something I do work with people on. If you want to see me sooner, the 30-minute consultations are usually available sooner. Though if you just want like question answers without me like tapping in and doing the psychic medium thing, if you just want to ask me questions based on my experience, those are what quick chats are for. And so often people just want to talk about their experiences and stuff. You don't need to pay the full price. If you want to do that to support me, I appreciate you. Though I also understand the way of the world. So if you just want to do question answer sorts of things, that's just based on my experience and we can talk about your shielding, your willpower, that kind of thing, consider a quick chat. So, yeah. I did do live readings once, and that was for a special occasion. I also did general readings for a communal group read on the summer solstice. If you want to check those out, those are on my YouTube. I will be real though, I don't do super specific readings on here because there's almost 100 people here and I don't want to do that. It gets really effing awkward. Like, I know some people do that. I don't want to get into specifics in front of a whole group of people. Why? because I'll get awkward because so-and-so guide may tell me, it's like, ooh, do you want to know what they do? And I'll be like, it'll show up in my face. I will be like, I don't. And if you're thinking, oh, my guides would never do that. I don't want to find out. That's all I'm saying. Especially if you are not as familiar with who exactly your guides are. They may have a sense of humor that you might not appreciate in front of a bunch of people. So that's why I don't do that on lives. If you want to see my reading style, check out my YouTube. I've got videos up on there. If you want to see or understand more of like what I'm like one-on-one, ask the comment section. Or I also have reviews posted on my website too. And here's something too. When you're looking to meet with somebody, one, check their socials, see if you think you would vibe with them. If you're already like, ooh, I don't know, then don't book with them. That's you and your intuition being like, ooh, and it maybe you still like them, but that's just not the person for you to meet at that time. Maybe it changes in a few months, you know, whatever. Other thing is too, read their website. Every now and then I'll get somebody that books with me for something that I don't offer or something that I am not comfortable offering. And how does the reading go? Not great. Not great. I'm going to use an example, deities. I'm learning more and more about deities. Every now and then, like, a name pops in my mind. Do I advertise that? No. Why? Because I don't want people to start booking with me and being like, there's a deity that's here and I know you can figure it out. I'm like, thank you for that faith in me, but I don't advertise that for a reason. Now, can I tell you if I recognize the deities that I already know? Generally, yes, so long as they want me to know. However, I don't know all of them. So whenever you're booking with anybody, please read what they can offer you. Because if you don't read that and you get a booking and you're like, oh, they're only okay, is that their fault? If you didn't read what they put on their website? I've got a lot of FAQs on my website for a reason. I want y'all to get the best service. I want you to get the best of what I can provide to you, whether that's my consultations or my Patreon. I want you to get the best. So please read. Especially you're putting your money down, you know, like, be aware of what you're putting your money down for. Yes, links are in my TikTok bio. Thank you, Tom. Woo, I said a lot of things tonight. Oh, last thing I'm going to say before I go. Patreon's got something special this month. I read a chapter of my book. The book that I've been working on since 2021. The book about Rupert, my past life, my current life with him. The book that, it's actually going to be the next book when Molly comes in, as well as Timothy. Though the book also about George. And in that book, I have run it by a lot of different psychic mediums and colleagues and editors who also have this understanding. Oh, thank you, saying it's so good. Yay! I just released it today. So, I ran it by them because I was like, I want people to understand what my psychic reawakening looked like. Which, at the very beginning, those chapters, it's very, like, uncertain. It's very much like, I think I'm talking to somebody, and I'm you know, like, blah, 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 blah. I want people to see parts of themselves and their own awakening in the experiences that I share. Which, if you're following me, you probably already do. So thank you. We're all in this together, okay? That chapter, it was actually the chapter that I did a skit about. The book goes back and forth between my past life with Rupert and this one. And the chapter that I shared on Patreon, I read it out loud, which is really big for me. I was really proud of that. I used to get performance anxiety of reading when I was in school. I have some form of dyslexia or something or another. It's difficult. Thank you for the gift. So yeah, me reading as myself, I'm very proud of myself for doing that. So, and if you're like, Rebekah, weren't you an actress before TikTok? Yes, memorizing words and just reading them off a page is different. Also, thank you, Jenna, for the llama. Also, I was always able to read easier as a character it was weird. Like if I was reading as myself, I would have too much anxiety and I'd have a huge problem about it. I'm curious, anybody else relate? Like if it's just a me thing, I understand. But like, I don't know. That was like an anxiety thing for me. Anyway, I digress. Getting back to the subject. So I read a chapter. It was the chapter that in this life I met Rupert. Yay, you relate. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I feel less alone. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, yay. Okay, great. Thanks. Anywho, yeah, I read that and I released the chapter today. So I just want to build up hype. I'm working on the book very hard right now. If you don't see as many skits coming out from me right now, it's because I am all of my time. I'm basically doing double work days right now. I'm working up for a celebratory trip in August. I'm not going to focus on that right now, but I'm working towards that. So that means right now I'm just going. So it may seem I may not be posting as much content here. That being said, I never get behind on Patreon. And if I do it, it's a rarity and I let y'all know in advance. So if you missed me, I would love to see you on there. Oh, and P.S. the live from the Railroad Museum from last week, which was a lot of fun. I did a paranormal investigation there. That's going to be up on the Tube of You, I think next week. I'm going to chop it into 2 pieces. So next week and the week after that. So very excited about that. Woo! Yes. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I feel so less alone. that you all are also like, yeah, I'm reading in front of people. What's that about? So yeah, the Wilmington Railroad Museum. If you're not familiar with it, I've got videos on my page. I love that place so much. I'm now on the board of directors. So yeah, which reminds me, I need to get on top of a video project for them because September is upon us. Woo, I'm so busy right now. And on that note, woo, it's been an hour, so I'm gonna go continue to be busy and work for my travel. So thanks so much for joining. Super appreciate you being here. And as I said before, I'm looking to expand onto Spotify so that if y'all just want to listen to this rather than watch it, totally fine. I want to make it more accessible for folks on the go. So, oh, hey, Spooky Kid. Yeah, bye. It's good to see you. And yeah. Oh, you missed me on your For You page. Check out my videos and click the share. You don't have to share it with anybody, but click copy link, share and copy link. That'll also tell the algorithm that you're, supposedly sharing it with people and that you want to see more. So yeah, I have been posting. I hope you can catch up. Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. Remember, block and report anybody who's not me. Thank you. I will never DM you. Nope. If I ever want to contact you, I'll ask for your email because that's more secure. But anyway, y'all stay safe. Give yourself some time this weekend. I will do the same for the most part. And take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.